We're lining the entire interior of my vehicle with premium sound damping material. What's up everyone? Welcome back to Stance Brothers. Boom mat is a vibration damping material. It reduces road noise, enhances audio performance, and dampen vibrations. So we're gonna be doing some sound tests inside the car before and after installation to see if this stuff is even any good. We're gonna use the 2mm for this vehicle. Covering the entire inside shouldn't be too difficult because I bought 80 square feet of this stuff. But first, we need to prep the interior and paint it to protect the bare metal from rust and make it so the boom mat will stick. There's these little tabs right here that used to be part of the system to hold the headliner up, but we have an idea of something we're gonna change for the headliner. I think I'm just gonna hammer them up flat so they're out of the way. Now we're spraying this rust barrier on there to prevent it from rusting again and just to give it a nice finish before we install the boom mats. So we're not worried about the doors. All the bare metal where we clean stuff, we're gonna try to get that painted, the walls, the floor, the roof. Probably. I have to use this light because that other one is so bright. The thing I like about this rust barrier is it seems to have a very even spray pattern and it doesn't really run. It sprays very evenly. We're going to try to avoid getting paint on the paint, but eventually it's getting repainted, so it's not a huge deal. It doesn't matter if the transmission gets painted. It might smoke some of it off later when it gets a little warm, but it's coming out eventually anyway, because we got a big engine swap coming.
I'll do the highway.
I think we're gonna have just enough to get one coat done. So if you look here, there's kind of some lighter colored areas. That's where there was more rust, and so the paint really soaks in. These areas where it's darker, the metal was pretty good, and so it didn't really soak in much. So we're definitely gonna have to do a second coat in a lot of areas. I'm hoping with the fans that it doesn't, but it's quite possible that it does. Quite possible indeed. Time for a sound check. As a little disclaimer, the car does not drive currently, but it does run. So we're only gonna have engine running noises from inside the car with no windows, not actual driving noise. But hopefully we'll still see a difference with the sound damping. All right, so we have our sound meter here. I'm gonna hit start. We're gonna start the car and we're just gonna get the decibels of it just idling. And then we'll do another test, just revving the engine a little bit. Ready for some revs? Yeah. With our revving, we had a max of 107 decibels, average of 96. And the floor is very warm under my butt right now because the exhaust pipe comes out right there. This stuff is pretty easy to install. You just peel off this plastic backing and it's nice and sticky. And then you take your roller or your fingers, whatever, and you just press it on to the metal and it'll stick real good. You do want it to be not super cold though. If it's cold, it's not gonna stick well. The plan is to do one strip down the middle and then we'll work off the sides of that to try to keep it fairly even. Originally we had thought about leaving these rafters exposed, but then decided it would look better if we just wrapped them. This stuff cuts pretty easy, even though it is basically a very thick aluminum foil. If you have a sharp knife, a box knife or something, it actually cuts fairly easily. What I'm trying to do is just overlap them about a ½ an inch or so, just because it'll look a little bit better. What I like to do is just peel back a couple inches of the end and stick the end there. That way I can hold up this end with the plastic still on it and get it where I want it. And then I can just reach up here, grab that plastic end and just peel it out little bit at a time as I push it up against the ceiling. Just trying to work it up into that corner there. That or he's just doing a burnout for him.
He is now cutting a strip of boom mat off of another strip of boom mat. He's cutting it off with scissors. He's again cutting a strip of boom mat off of another strip of boom mat and smiling because he thinks that that is funny and shaking his head. He is now rolling it out flat. He said okay. He is now looking for another piece of boom mat. So is all the sound being recorded right now?
You want to tell the good people?
As you can see, we only have 4 sheets of boom mat left and a bunch of scraps. We haven't even started on the floor yet, so we're gonna need more, which I already ordered more. They should be here later this week. 80 square feet was not enough to cover the whole thing. The box said 80 square feet would do a SUV. Apparently they don't intend on you doing the entire car. So I ordered more. They almost got here, got damaged in the mail, got sent back. I had to reorder them and they're finally here. This is a box of the 2mm. They're 1 foot by 2 foot. 30 in this box, so that's 60 square feet, and it costs roughly $260. I've already done boom mats in my Ranger, and now we've done 80 square feet in this vehicle already. And it may seem a little bit intimidating to do, but it's really not. It's pretty simple. The only tools you really need are box knife, scissors, and then you definitely want a roller. It just makes it easier to get it pressed down nice and uniformly. Take your time, it's not that hard. It's definitely doable to install it by yourself. If you want help, it's always helpful to have help. A scrap that size isn't really worth saving to me. If it's something bigger, especially if I have to cut like a corner off of a piece and it still has the backing on it, I'll save it, but little stuff like that, I don't worry about saving. All right, so you can see we finished the main area. We just finished covering the access panel for the transmission and clutch area. That's the last little finishing touch. We ended up using 60 out of 70 sheets. So overall, we have 120 square feet of boom mat in this vehicle. I feel like it has gotten quieter with the amount that we've done though. It definitely, it used to be very loud and clangy sounding. It's more of a thud now. There's still some clang from the door.
Inside, I feel like
most of that noise is the door. But yeah, that is noticeably quieter.
yeah. That sounds so much more muted.
Yeah.
I mean, how cool does that look? That's just crazy looking.
Ready?
Yeah, ready?
It did make a difference. It definitely cut out a lot of higher end sound. When we did our previous sound check, we forgot to put this access panel back on. So we did a sound check without it on just so that we had the same conditions for the test. But we went ahead and put it back on just to see how much of a difference having that on as well is gonna make. When the car is finished, the exhaust will be out the back, so that will also make a massive difference in the sound.
Dude, that was colossal.
Wow, having that access panel on made a massive difference. Without boom mats at about 84 idling, to with boom mats down to about 82 idling, to with the access panel down to about 80 idling, and we went from our high rev without boom mats being 107, to with them it's down to 102, to now it's down to 98.9. So that made a massive difference. 107 to, we'll call it 99, so 8 decibels quieter. And that's without windows, without doing the doors. Once we have windows in it and the doors with boom mats on them as well, it's gonna be an even bigger difference. There you have it, about 500 bucks, 90 pounds, and 60 sheets later, we got a reduction of about 8 decibels. So take that how you will. Is it a lot? Is it a little? It definitely made a difference, and I think it'll make an even bigger difference once we're finished. Oh, and a little tip for you guys. Make sure you wear gloves when putting this stuff in, because I cut myself multiple times on that aluminum. Not very fun. Thanks for watching. Feel free to leave a comment if you have any questions. Like, subscribe, that kind of stuff, and we'll catch you in the next one.
Want to get a close-up at those things?